The most important thing we can do is to make sure we control our own energy. So here's what I've done since I've been president. We have increased oil production to the highest levels in 16 years. Natural gas production is the highest it's been in decades.
Well, that was President Obama touting his administration's efforts to expand oil exploration here in the United States. But a new report suggests the president may have gone too far in those claims. The Congressional Research Service now says the oil boom is happening, but not on federal land. Fox Business Network's Lou Dobbs is host of Lou Dobbs Tonight, and this was something that Mitt Romney challenged him on in these debates, suggesting there's a difference between private exploration and federal land exploration. First, why does that matter? And what do the stats show us?
A couple of ways in which it does matter. It demonstrates clearly why having a mainstream media that is behaving as lapdogs rather than independent chroniclers and applying critical judgment can alter the outcomes in elections. That's what happened, because this is a misrepresentation of a huge order on the part of the administration. This president touting all the above energy as his position on energy.
That he favors all the above.
He doesn't. As a matter of fact, we have seen the production on federal lands, onshore and offshore, whether gas or oil, decline by 40 to 50% in the course of his administration. I repeat, decline by 40 to 50%. Looking at permits looking at production from federal lands, onshore and offshore again.
Because they can make it a lot harder for you. They can make the permitting near impossible. They can slow you way down
if you want. And they have done so. They've cut just by over half in some instances, those permits. But on state and private lands, we are watching production boom.
Where the feds wouldn't be involved at all?
The feds are not involved. Well, they have certain regulatory responsibilities, but they're minuscule compared to the ownership and stewardship of the land. But there's another aspect of this that people are not focusing on. President Obama has sent his Interior Department out and the National Park Service to scoop up as much land as they possibly can and withdraw it from both the state and the private landowners and secure it as federal property over which he has dominion, which is not a good thing for production.
Because you see similar results for that land as we've seen on the federal lands over the past couple of years.
And what's extraordinary is this president is talking about this all of the above energy nonsense. I mean, it really is nonsense. The fact is, we are on our way right now. If he just continues the same policies with federal lands, we will be a net exporter of gas, natural gas, in this country by 2020. We will be a net exporter of oil by 2030 or thereabouts, 2030 to 2035.
What is the significance of that?
The significance is we are no longer dependent on a very volatile Middle East. We are no longer vulnerable to the political leverage of the Middle East, and we become an important exporter and provider and supplier of energy to those nations who are absolutely starved for energy.
And how do we get there? How do we get there?
By producing oil, exploiting our natural resources.
Even on the federal lands, you're saying?
Even if we did not.
Really?
We would still get there. We can accelerate that to the tune of $350 billion a year if we can reverse that in increments of years earlier. And this president doesn't want to talk about it. The national media isn't talking about it. They want to talk about these silly cars that they spend our money on. They go bankrupt and they continue the battery revolution that doesn't go anywhere. Meanwhile, all of the oil refiners, all of the oil producers, all of the oil exploration companies are actually changing the way in which the country is going to be living a decade from now.
Wow. It's interesting. The statistics are really shocking when you see that all the increase we've seen from 07 to 12 took place on non-federal lands.
It is. And you know what else? We are, over the course of the last 5 years, we have seen our petroleum exports improve by 50%.
Wow. Lou, thank you.
Thank you.